one thing that I love talking about with the old heads, and anybody that's ever had a conversation with me knows this, sports conversation that is the old guys that want to talk about how back in my day, right? They're like, well, back in the day, our quarterbacks weren't protected, and our players left the field injured, and they never played again. It was awesome. And I know that they were better back then. They would have beaten these teams today. Trent Dilfer, I'm not impressed with the modern day quarterback because back when I played, we took hits. And it's like, I mean, I get that there's been a lot of safety regulations since these times. And I get that you feel like, because everybody always thinks that back in the day is better. Like, I grew up in the 90s. Like, I loved that era. Like you were just now starting to get technology, but you didn't have all technology so available to you. And so you got to have the best. Like, you get to see what it was like before, and you get to see what it's like after. But so this is just human nature that we're talking about. Change is hard for anybody. But if you legitimately think that a player like and some of them are excluded, right? Like Reggie White, beast, would have done it today too. Lawrence Taylor, beast, would have done it today too. But like, if you had Cam Chancellor in the 80s playing what probably would have been a linebacker or something like that at the time. I don't know if he would have been a safety if he grew up in the 80s. But if you people would have died. Like, people would have gotten hurt so bad if they took a hit by Cam Chancellor, because everybody back then, and I saw like this stat line, like there's like the average player is on about a half a second faster, and almost on the 40, that is, than in almost every single position across the board. And if you understand anything about football, you know, or just how fast that is, a half a second on a 40 time, that is so much faster than the other person. Like, that is significantly faster. And that's noticeable. You can notice that the second they start running, if that person is a half a second faster than the other person. Like, for example, and you know, I love the guy, but Jerry Rice ran a 4.740, and I get that back in the day they probably didn't have the training, and if he had had the training, he might have had a faster 40 time. But Bobby Wagner is faster than that. Darrell Taylor, who was that kid, Jordan Davis, plays for the Atlanta Falcons now. He came out of Georgia last year. He ran a 4.940. That's 0.2 of a second slower. He's a defensive tackle. And he was 0.2 of a second slower than Jerry Rice ran his 40. And so the average athlete in today's league is so much more athletic than it was back then. The game is so much faster, so much bigger. And obviously there are players that would translate in today's league. Like, if I believe Bo Jackson would have been a very good running back in today's league. Absolutely. Believe it. But like, and I'm gonna get some angry people on this one. But like, Terry Bradshaw, 50% career completion percentage. 50. 50. Today's standards, he would be a bad quarterback. In today's standards, he would have probably been benched. And the list goes on. Like, and anybody I hear say the name Johnny Unitas, I don't even want to go. There was 3 teams? 4 teams? 4! There was 100 players in the AFL, NFL, whatever it was. And if you genuinely believe that era-based football, while may have been more entertaining, right? May have been more entertaining. It may have been funner to watch. I'll give you that. It might have been, right? Might have been. Sure. I will give you that. But to say that that era is better? That they would win? No. The 85 Bears would not have been a better defense than the 2001 Ravens, the 2011 Ravens, or whatever year they won against the Niners. I think that was 11. This 13 Seahawks, this last year's Philadelphia Eagles, the 2020 Buccaneers, which was only the playoffs, but still, that was one of the most relentless pass rushes I've ever seen. The 2010 Giants, like I don't foresee them being better, and nothing will ever convince me otherwise. Like no argument that it was probably fun to watch. They had players that were so much and so dominant for the time, for the era, but you can only compare that era to that era, right? You cannot compare them to the current era. It's just a bigger, faster, better game. Like there's a reason why linebackers are being phased out. There's a reason why cornerbacks are so valuable. Corner, not quarter. And quarterbacks, are obviously extremely valuable. There's a reason why Terry Bradshaw won 4 freaking championships having a 50% completion percentage. Like, it wasn't the league that you see today. And I'm sorry, guys. Sorry to all you old heads out there, but you're not going to convince me. You're not going to convince me. This era right now, while I personally prefer the 2000s era because I love just seeing this, just the in the trenches war the whole game, this era right now is the best era of football, and I mean, there's no argument. Like, I'm sorry. Well, there is an argument, but it's undisputed in my head. And so let me know what you guys think. Remember to like and subscribe. This is the Grumpy Sports Dad Talk Show. I'm John, the Sports Dad, and thanks again for listening, guys.